This is the Bill Squire Show.
All right, goons, listen here. We're in a very different place, all right? We are in the iHeartRadio studio, and we're going to do a little collaborative stuff with a person that we love very much because we have a very important guest with us. We had to travel through the snow to get here. I'm going to send it off to the big man that is in the studio. That's his home.
Hey, I'm Bill Squire. Welcome to the Bill Squire Boogered Up Show, whatever we're going to call
Yes,
this.
sir.
It's everything, but we are extremely excited because we have a special guest here today, Durena.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Round of applause for Jay.
How are we
in the
doing, guys?
studio.
We're doing good? We're doing good?
Yes, first things first, I got to ask you, how many people do you think you have given blue balls as they are starting their process?
Oh, dude, I get that quite a bit. People are like, yeah, I start, like, you're into the video, you're seeing some good hoed up chick, and then I pop my head in. I like that. I like that that's something people get, like, PTSD from it almost.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
Because I go... I'll be watching a video, I'll be like, where's Che?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not watching this just to get a boner. I'm watching this to get a boner and a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I want,
so sometimes you're looking at a hot chick and then you're suspicious that I'm gonna pop up. I'm not even there. I'm just in the back of your head. It's like that scene in the Batman when they see the signal in the sky and they all start looking at the shadows. They're like, is he here? Is he here? I don't even need to be there, but you're scared. That's the important part.
Because nobody checks with the profile, like where the video's actually coming from right away. As soon as you see that,
Yeah,
you're like,
you just
oh,
see-
money, I got
like,
it.
ooh,
Yeah.
a bad little mommy.
My
And then
feed,
I'm like,
my feed is
okay.
responding to me, and then, what's up, idiots? I'm like, God.
Yeah.
honestly, it's a great way to edge.
Yeah.
If you're into edging.
Okay, how old are you guys?
26.
25.
26, 25, 28. So you guys are a little younger. Okay,
I'm 42.
42.
So, yeah.
Bill, you're 42. So I'm 31.
No way.
And I'm 31.
No.
Yeah, I am. I'm
Let me see
31.
your driver's license.
Dude, I can
Social security number.
Dude, I can whip out my driver's license, dude. But okay, gooning. So what is? I thought gooning was just edging. There's my driver's license.
There's the driver's license.
My Canadian driver's
Mid
license.
fro.
He
Mid fro.
confirms. Yeah, that's mid-fro.
Toronto.
Yeah.
He confirms. Yeah.
So gooning. We're familiar with gooning.
Yes.
So I thought, is gooning just edging? Is that what it is, or is it it's like edging for a super long period of time?
I think gooning is edging, but someone else is in control of the edge.
Yes.
Wait, whoa.
I think that's what it is, where like you are getting close, but there's a lady that says you can't come, like a mistress almost, that's like, you can't come yet.
That's what gooning is.
I'm pretty sure that's what
Bro,
gooning
I've been
is.
gooned and not even realized it then.
Oh,
We all have.
It's
Yeah.
so good because we came up with the Goon thing because of the one hockey movie, The Goon.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So because we love that movie and the shit with that.
Good
and when we
Canadian
started
movie.
doing it, so we started doing it, and then we found out that somebody reached out and was like, "Are you guys?" Because we talk sexual stuff as well. It's like, "Are you guys like doing gooning? Or are you guys like, what is the goon stuff for?" And we're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
We're
okay.
like, "Oh shit."
I've been seeing gooning everywhere, and just the terminology gooning is funny. It's like funny phonetically, so I'm on
It
board
doesn't even
already.
sound sexual.
It doesn't sound sexual at all,
Kind
but
of like ooh.
yeah,
Like,
it's.
gives me that ooey feeling.
But I like that it's just this dumb thing that like a bunch of dudes are getting on board, and it's like an evolution of edging. I've been edging my whole life. I've been fucking about that, dude. When I'm wanking it, I'm always.
It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
Got
What's
to.
the longest you've edged?
Oof. I've done some, dude. There's this one time. I think the craziest nut I had from like not nutting was I was in Germany. I went on a date with this girl. She came back to my place and we're like hooking up. And she's like, I don't want, like, we can kind of do like everything around sex, but I don't want to have sex with you until we go out for dinner. And I was like, okay, cool. So we were just like messing around all night, and then we went to sleep. And then the morning, same thing, started messing around again. And so I want to say like hours. Like this is we're saying like
This is a whole night.
this is a whole, and then into the next morning, and then we got into the shower together, and I was like, I told her, I was like, I need to make myself come, or my balls are gonna be like horrible.
Yeah,
all
you didn't
day.
even sleep that
Yeah.
last night. You were staring at the
Fucking
ceiling the
mess
whole
all day,
time.
And when I nutted, I swear to God, the sound of the nut, it like hit the glass, like sliding door of the shower.
Like
It
a
said,
power wash?
"Oh, dude, exactly." It sounded like like
Like a bug hit the windshield.
Yes.
Like, and not like a little, like a bumblebee.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a pigeon shitting while you're driving.
Yeah, dude, it was like it had a tone to it, and I think that was like one of the craziest nuts I've ever had. But
That's one of those things too. Like with when you take that time and build it up, it's so nice. And then going back to like the gooning and the evolution of the word, I think it also has origins in simp community.
Oh, really?
Where, like, because it's almost like taking it back. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a simp for a girl, but I'm gonna nut eventually. I don't know. I don't think there's any official
Is it like-
guidelines on that, but that's what I think.
Is it like you're her goon? Like you're her like
Yeah,
That shit's
maybe,
hard.
yeah.
That shit's hard.
Yeah. Is
Just
that-
walking around like I'm her goon. You know, some people know what that is, and the people
I'm
that
one
do
of her
are like,
goons,
you
probably.
motherfucker.
She probably got a lot of goons.
Okay, because I've been trying to get to the bottom of gooning for a while, and I was trying to find out the differentiating factor. I thought like someone described to me it was like a state of mind.
Like a spiritual.
Like gooning is not the act of edging, but your mindset when you are edging. They were like that is
Okay.
what gooning is, and I'm like, what is this?
That's
And
like meditative masturbation.
Exa-
It's
like that kind
it's
of
like-
thing.
It's not just and I get that because a lot of times like mindset has a lot to do where it's like you start watching a video, but then your mind takes over and you're like, I'm not even paying attention to what's happening here. I've
like
taken
you
this on
just-
my own like D&D adventure in my
Yeah.
brain where I'm trying to fantasize about someone else or this situation with me in it. It's a whole like exercise of brain power.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
caught myself lost in my imagination, just blankly staring at the screen, like, you know, and like not even realizing it.
Yeah, and
Just
the,
listening
like,
to the sounds.
like you didn't even
Yeah,
click.
I need the
You
sounds
didn't even
up,
click
bro.
skip ad yet. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I
Sometimes
have
the
to skip.
ad does the job, though.
Some
There
ads are
is Some
good.
ads. There's one ad that it coming up, and I was so mad for those 5 seconds because the girl was so obnoxious when she was moaning. I'm like, this is fake. I know you don't mean this. This
Yeah.
doesn't feel that good. For 5 seconds, I've lost my buzz on this one.
Oh,
I
it
gotta
would
hurry up and get
ruin. It would
through.
ruin the
I
experience.
know, right?
I
Damn.
see them ads too, and it's like local MILFs don't have to pay no credit card information. I'm like, how true is this?
It's
You know
not
what I
true
mean?
at all, dude.
Yeah.
It's not true at all.
it's 100% true. Just click it. Just click
Just
it.
follow the yellow brick road. You got it.
Okay, bad.
I don't know the official numbers, but I've heard that the fucking CPM on porn ads is like insanely low. Like if you want to run a porn ad, it's so fucking low because no one clicks. There's like no click through rate.
You're not there
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
Nobody
so-
cares.
Dude, I wonder if
about
we
it.
can get an ad on the porn.
Hey, you might be able to. You might be
try
able
it.
to get something on there. Like I'm not against it. I think it's not a bad idea.
You'd probably get more clicks just because people be like, "What the hell?"
What
like
the
it's just
fuck is
different.
this?
Yeah.
Pornhub, when it's like
We gotta-
porn that time of
The
month.
day that it's corn, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the idea of like you're about to jerk off, and I'm like, hey, come see me, hilarities.
Dude, you might get like with what you're known for, you might get a huge return on that.
Yeah.
Like, better than like paying for Facebook ads on like an
Right.
event page.
I,
Like,
I
you-
think it's funny. It's a fun. I'm actually, I
Bro,
probably
you
should do
keep
this.
motherfuckers
I should do
It's
this.
just
yeah.
5
He's on
seconds.
Pornhub, too.
Yeah.
It's 5 seconds where he says, "Follow me, you fucking idiots," and
Dude.
everybody goes, "What is happening right now?"
No, I'm in Winnipeg this weekend or this upcoming weekend, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be.
You reach out to the hub and
I'm
see
gonna
what you
be
can
like,
get
yeah,
done.
hub. I think we're gonna go. I don't know if I want to go hub. I'll go like X videos, XNXX. Like
I
I'll
heard
go
you're
some
an
of
X
the.
guy.
I'm an
Yeah.
X videos guy. I love X videos. I'm off. I'm trying to do no porn for January. I'm doing like dry January in 2 senses. No porn, no booze. Yeah, trying to keep it
Well,
clean on
I
there.
have one thing. I heard that you're a Zen guy.
I literally, as you said that, it sparked my brain, and I was like, I
There
gotta put
you
a
go.
Zen in.
Zimbabwe.
Bill's about to throw up and die right now because we had him want to do a Zen on the pod, and it did the worst number to him.
Oh, dude. Well,
possible.
yeah, because
How
you did you give him a
strong are yours?
6?
I have 6s. Yeah.
You're crazy. You can't give a fresh man a 6, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a 3-er.
Yeah.
I
oh, yeah.
got hiccups for like 10 minutes immediately. It was brutal.
Dude, no, I'm a 3 guy. I was fucking. I don't know if I can say who this was, but I was on the road with someone, and there was like this kind of after party thing, and someone was hanging out with us. And we were all like doing zins and shit like that. And this guy's like, I've never done it before. And we give him one, and he's drinking water, and then he goes, I swallowed it. And we're like, what? Like, wait,
Got
what?
the ultimate buzz.
I don't know who this is, but that sounds like a Burt Kreischer story.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that's who it was, but I could just be, I swallowed it.
Oh no, it wasn't Bert
It wasn't
Kreischer.
Bert.
It wasn't Bert Kreischer. No, it was just this person who
That's
like
so
was
funny.
hanging out with the group, and he got real quiet, and you could tell he was like in the eye of the storm at times, and then he kind of got to the other end. He didn't puke or anything, which I was impressed about, but he was like, yo, it was bad for a minute, because I'm like, yeah, because The first time I did Zin was a 6.
Yeah.
And I put it in and I left it in for maybe a minute. And then I took it out and was like, okay, like I'm as high as I need to be off of this fucking thing.
Now, what got you into Zins? Were you a chewer beforehand, or were you a smoker, or
no?
you're a trendy bitch?
Yeah, part of it is there's a couple elements to it. So I did not like chew. I do not like tobacco at all. I puked one time dipping. When I was a kid, I was 10 years old. Me and my family went to Cuba, and my parents let me smoke a Cuban cigar on this resort, and I fucking got so sick. So I've never had a good relationship with tobacco, but I started listening to the Huberman pod. And Huberman's all about like optimizing, blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about he has all these scientist friends who like chew Nicorette gum because nicotine's actually really good for focus. I've even heard that people who have like schizophrenia, some of the reasons why they like to smoke is because like quiets the voices in their head. And then fucking, Bert Kreischer got me onto Zins. He loves Zins. So he was like, I went on the road with him. And he was like, oh, yo, you got to try these. And I was like, all right. And I tried it. And I was like, oh, this is fucking great. Yeah. And I'm trying to cut back on the booze. I'm cutting back on like a lot of the extracurricular stuff. Like, never been a big weed guy. Like, it's always kind of been in the mix, but not a huge amount. But I like things that hone me in more. I'm always trying to be like, how do I write better? How do I work out better? How do I fucking, as much as I am a degen, I try to keep the body healthy and then just like be degenerate on the sexual stuff. Like, keep the temple good.
Well, that's a lot of fun.
That's
like,
called balance.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's hard. Like the food is a bad one for me too. Like I'm trying to lose weight right now. I'm down like 7, which is great, but I want to get back down to like 180. But food is a big vice for me. I love to just fucking like,
especially on the road though. Because on the road it's so hard to keep maintain a healthy routine, and then also when you're going through cities, people will be like, get a Polish boy, and that's not part of the diet. Like that's French fries on a sandwich, and you're gonna
ooh, I want that.
When you were touring with Bert, which tour were you doing? The arenas, or were you doing like the
arenas? Yeah, I was just on the road with him not that long ago. So we did a bunch of stuff in Virginia, North Carolina. I think there was another state we were in. And it was all tour bus stuff. It was very cool. Yeah. Very, very, very cool experience. And he's fucking awesome, man.
I've known Bert for 20 years or so. And like when he comes through, like he was at the end of a leg of his tour, and he was sick, and like he was just powering through. But like I'm buddies with, Dave and Shane and a few of the other guys that opened for him. And just like seeing them in a venue like that is really cool, because you're like, that's my guy, and he's opening for Bert, and Bert's just like this. The blow up he's had has been monumental.
Oh, dude,
what's that like though? Walking out in front of like 15,000 people.
Oh, dude, like it's pretty wild. It's definitely a completely different experience to do stand up. And I opened each show that we went on, and so my mindset was just like, they're here for Bert. My job isn't to be like, oh fucking, I'm gonna steal the show. My job is to do a little bit of a fucking layup or like an alley oop to the next guy, so that the show keeps going really well. So just go out and do a great job. Every show I went out and just like acknowledged Bert. I was like, I think I was opening the shows with being like, I want to do my goal on the tour is to do mushrooms with Bert, and then I would go into my mushrooms bit. And then so like
that's very smart. Very smart.
I'm acknowledging, we're all here for fucking Bert. I get the ride here. I'm gonna hit you guys with some solid stuff, and it was great. Every show was great. I was really expecting, not to like having not faith in my own comedic ability, but I've seen other comics open for people in like huge venues. Like you go see Burr, you go see Bert or whoever. The openers usually struggle. Because like people are filing in, like the people are there to see the one person.
Right.
And the one thing that Bert has done with that audience in having the podcast with Tom and having his own podcast, they're pretty comedy literate.
Yes.
So they understand, like, get there on time. The openers are part of the show.
Yeah.
They are there for a reason. It's because Bert respects them and wants them on the show and wants you to know who these guys are.
Yeah.
And I think a large majority of that audience understands that. And you see people out there enjoying the openers more than, because I've seen, other guys in arenas, and it is that we were talking about where they're having a tough time and they're having to kind of work for it. because everybody's just there to see Bill Burr or John Mulaney or whoever.
Exactly.
Well, we had a conversation with AJ Wilkerson on
Yeah.
the pod, and he was explaining the 15,000. Did you have shows prior that were that big or close to that big? At all?
no,
Because he
dude.
said his room, the top that he had was 400, and then the first night I believe was 7,000, and
Yeah.
then the next night was like 12,000, something
Yeah.
like that. So it was like you went from just a small little hole with like.
Yeah.
He said it was easier to see, like, because with the crowd you can't see people's faces that well. So
Yeah.
it's like you're just seeing an arena of all one face.
Yeah.
How did that impact you when you went from your shows to going on tour and doing this every day?
I like the first show was definitely the most nerve wracking. And then after that, you kind of got your bearings with it. You got like, okay, I knew what jokes I would do. And because I was first, I was like, what am I going to open with? I don't want to go too dirty. I don't know what his audience responds to. Like, I know Bert's comedy well enough, but I think the stuff I talk about is like, I go like, not that he doesn't go raunchy, but I'm like a lot of sex, a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that's my sense of humor in the audience.
It'd be
I've
hilarious to
cultivated.
go to one of your shows and you don't do any of that shit.
Dude,
And
wild.
we see you on social all the time doing that, and we're like, where's the penis jokes?
Bro,
What do you-
I've done shows where people come up to me after, and like if I do my full hour front to back, the first 20 is probably like drugs, family, like relationship stuff, and then the back 40 is more like sex and like fetishes and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I've had people be like, man, I wanted more. I wanted more like sex, raunchy
Yeah.
shit. And I was like, I talked about eating ass for 7 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
you want
40
more,
minutes
dude?
of it, and like, but that's why you get to come back and see me next time. I'll have more. Like, there's always gonna be an opportunity to expound on that stuff.
Exactly. But yeah, the arenas it was just like, just go out, just do a really good job, and then just keep the ball rolling. And it was fun as fuck. Like the hang is fun. The tour bus thing is fun. Everything around it. The food's great. Like the fucking joke around, shooting the shit. And then seeing Bert's whole like philosophy for comedy was great. It opened up my ideas of how to structure things. Like it was only.
Can you expound on that a little bit? Just because that sounds.
Yeah, like
As a comic, that sounds interesting.
He talked about just like structuring a special. Like he talked about
he's talked about that before, where he took his closer and put it in the middle.
Yeah,
because
that's
people watch for like 30 minutes, and so he wanted to make sure that joke was in there.
Yeah,
and that's really smart.
And then
because-
he had like way higher retention on all of his, like the way he crafts comedy, and like he'll do an hour 10, hour 20, and then go into the machine, which is another 20-minute part. And then when he does the machine, he'll have like all these offshoots where he'll go on like these tangents where he's doing bits within the machine. I think to keep it fresh for the audience, but also to keep it fresh for himself.
Yeah,
he's got to.
Oh, dude, and like and how he works on stuff and improves stuff throughout the show, throughout the run. And while you're watching him, you're not only being like, oh, he's killing with the bits, but his storytelling is so captivating that you're like, what happened next? What's the next part of the story? Like, it's really, he's fucking really talented, man.
Went and just saw him last 2 times he's been in Cleveland, and the story of him with his dad going through, watching it before the special. But watch it where he was talking about going through the little maze in the house and everything and farting in front of his dad was one of the funniest jokes I think I've heard in a long time. It killed me. I was crying laughing in the crowd.
Yeah, he's fucking great, dude.
I got to ask you a question, though, because you might be the only other person I've ever met that does this. And I'm going back to sex, of course.
Yes.
When you look up on porn,
Yeah.
I was listening to a couple podcasts that you were on, and in one of them you mentioned that when you're on X videos, you will click that and add it to a new tab.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I thought I was the only one that actually
dude.
did that, because everybody else is just they're looking through the one video, they get their couple minutes in.
30 tabs open.
I got my phone right now, and I tell you, I've got.
God.
Oh, you got porn tabs ready to go.
Oh, I have porn. Yeah, Pornhub is open on my phone right now.
Oh,
I have 50 tabs open, and I probably half of them are porn.
That's wild.
You just leave them up there.
Yeah, just keep it there. You know, if I don't want to go
Easy access.
scrolling,
Yeah.
I have one that I knew did the job beforehand, and I just revisit it again.
See, I always fucking burn the field afterwards. I go like, everything must die. Everything must die.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah, I need
You
to
gotta
get-
restart.
Exactly. I got to get back to being a human being. I don't want that temptation just lingering there, because I went to go look at Pornhub. I'm trying not to watch porn for this month, and I was looking at Pornhub to work on a joke about Pornhub. And you just catch yourself just fucking clicking the thumbnail, seeing it run, and you're like, ah. And I'm like, no, that is definitely a vice for me that I don't like. Like, I don't keep snacks in the house. I don't keep booze in the house. I can't keep porn tabs open because I don't want that easy access to those vices.
The only thing that I've ever kept that I closed was the one ones where I'm like not myself, and I'm like, I don't know why I did it that night.
Yeah.
I clicked on a wild video. I gotta delete this, so I didn't. That was a weird time.
The
in
ones
my
that you're
Yeah.
ashamed of. That's how it is every time. That's
Yeah.
why. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
I
as
got
soon as I'm
restart.
done. Yeah, it's like
It just
who was that?
you just burn it, dude.
Well, who have I become?
I've been big on Reddit porn. I use Reddit,
good.
dude. Reddit's kind of like the kindling. Like I'll go to Reddit first
That's a
and
good
just
pre.
yeah, it gets
What's
it
your,
going.
What's your favorite subreddit?
Ooh, squirting is great. There's
Squirting
one video on squirting that is one of the most wild
man.
fucking videos.
Squirting's
It's
crazy.
dude, it's this girl. She has like a bunch of different toys in her pussy, she has like 3 or 4 different toys in her pussy, and she squirts like crazy. And then these toys like kind of fly out of her pussy, and then she puts her middle finger in her asshole and sort of like hooks it open, and then a dildo shoots out of her ass.
Holy shit.
And you're like, what the fuck? It's a marvel just to watch. And then her pussy like convulses. Like
Yeah.
it like fucking it looks like something's gonna birth out of it. Like it's
Oh
just
my God.
fucking nuts,
Do you
dude.
think she got that on the first take?
I don't know. I think it seems so candid. Like there's no way that was rehearsed. There's no way.
It's a whole.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole talent that like you gotta give them respect for.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
would never try something like that. for
What,
sure.
squirting?
Well, I would try squirting, but I would never try shooting a dildo out.
Dude,
of my
and
ass.
that's seeing it shoot out like that, because I on my shows I'm crowd working people, and when I talk to nurses, one of the biggest things is people getting stuff lost in their ass. People lose it. So when I see some shit, I'm like, that could have been up there. That could have been an emergency
That could
room
have been
visit.
for everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
There's one Reddit I didn't know that I would like, and our tech guy put it on, but she fucks him.
Yeah.
When he said that on the pod, I was like, you're out of your mind. I was like,
Yeah.
we know what you like to do in the bedroom. I don't want to get pegged down. I'm cool with that. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, trust me. Just do it. And I went clicking on that. It was my first taste in Reddit porn. And I was like, this is a magical world that I did not know existed.
So is it all pegging stuff?
No, it's just like her more dominant and like on top. Like
Was she
really
doing the
either
Amazon?
riding?
Do you know the Amazon position?
Please inform me what
Oh,
the
yeah.
Amazon.
Oh, I
Amazon
think I know what you're
position
talking
is where she is technically riding you, but she's got your legs
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I've
So,
never
like,
had
you're,
that
like-
before.
So like your
but
legs are up, but your dick is like pointed towards her, and she's just like humping. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't want that one at all. Anything
Yeah.
that has
How
to
do
do
you
with my
talk that
legs
one into
up, I don't
play?
like that.
I
Try
don't.
it.
I've been. Try it, dude.
Stretch and try it. Like you know.
There's one girl who I was hooking up with for a bit who wanted to be like, we would kind of switch back and forth, and whenever she took like a more dominant position when we were fucking, it wasn't a turn on for me, and I also didn't know what to do. I felt like I don't know what to say. I don't know what to like when I'm like, yeah, you fucking whore, like I'm fucking, I know it, but like I have no dialogue options for a chick being like on top of me, like holding my wrist down. So I'm like, oh, ooh, like I have no clue. So it's like it doesn't really do a lot for me.
You just take it. Just take it all. Just take it. It's yours. You can have fun. Do what
Yeah.
you want.
I
Yeah.
tried to be dominant from the bottom and ended up smashing my own berries.
Oh,
that's
shit.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, like, she's on top riding and stuff, and I like smack butt.
Yeah.
I go to like smack it,
And you
I
miss?
completely missed.
And you smacked your own nuts.
Calmed my nutsack.
Oh, bro.
And I felt like I was like, you gotta get off. I think I got a shit.
Yeah.
Poop.
Dude, yeah, she had a little ass for sure. She had a little tiny butt. If you're missing the ass, yeah, that's.
No, I don't know. I was kind of drunk, so I think maybe I was just like, yeah.
Just use her air.
Dude.
I was like, let's go.
Smacking your own nuts, dude. I've never heard of that,
That was
going
kinda like
down.
one of the worst pains I have endured in my adult life.
Yeah,
so
yeah, for sure,
it's like
man, dude.
Trauma to my own groin.
Yeah, and
So
then you.
none of you guys ever had like a girl that wants you to call her mommy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've done. Okay.
I've had that,
Okay,
yeah, and
yeah.
that's like I'm like, oh, I'll do that for you. I'm a pleaser.
I'm
Right.
expecting some fruit snacks.
Because I've had one girl. It's like she was basically trying to kill me with her tits, and she's like, "You wanted, mommy's tits are gonna kill you." I'm like, it's not a bad way to die.
Yeah,
One of them Tempur-Pedic titties.
Yeah.
And
One of
they're
those-
so big,
Yeah.
you can lay on them.
Yeah,
One of those
dude.
situations you have to completely take yourself out and be like, don't think about what's coming out of your mouth. And just be like, yes, kill me, mommy, kill me. Because if you think about it in that moment, you're like, what the
What am I
fuck
saying?
am I in?
Foolish.
Where have I ended up in life?
No, that's part of the thing when a chick is trying to like dominate you or like be on top. Like that gets me out of it. It's like I could kill you. Like I could kill you right now. So like, I can't get lost in this. But I do love those fucking.
You gotta go a little more method on that.
Yeah. I do love those huge. When chick has huge tits, I call them like two-handers. Like you fucking have to hold one tit with two hands just to fucking
Just
get
like-
it. It's so big. If you hold it with one hand, it kind of spills to either side, like one of those gel toys that, like,
Those are nice.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Give it a little shake, try to keep it balanced.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like watching, you know, it's like the ocean moving.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I get, man.
Dude,
I don't know.
I'm on board. I'm on
Like,
board with that big
Kind of
time.
feels like a bag full of pudding.
Yeah, yeah. What's that fucking line from
Bag of sand.
40-year-old
Yeah.
virgin?
Yeah.
It's like a
old
bag of
bag of
sand.
sand, yeah.
Have you ever fucked before? Dude, that's so
Bag
funny.
of sand.
Yeah, take this out.
Save it later.
No, there's still a little juice in this guy. And it's
He's
the
like,
last.
you gotta make sure it's there, dude.
Yeah. It's the last one in that container too, so it's fine.
So have you ended up, since you were doing a dry January,
Yeah.
how the temptations that you have received in your messages coming here for the shows in Cleveland this
Yeah.
weekend, we saw on Instagram, have been fabulous.
Yes.
How close were you to going in on one of those? And do you get those every time you go to towns?
Not every time. Some towns are like super fruitful. Some towns not at all. There's plenty of towns where I don't fuck. But there's some, like, I think it was like Dallas or something. I fucked 5 chicks in that weekend, and that was like, it was like,
It's like a bouquet of flowers.
yeah, we're doing work. We're doing work. It would, dude. The Dallas weekend, I felt kind of bad because like so it was like 2 in one night for 2 nights, and then the before I left, I went and hooked up with this one other chick, and I think it was the first night. I hooked up with this chick, and then this girl hit me up, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to double team me with my boyfriend?" And I was like, "Yeah, fucking swing through." But I had just nutted with this other chick, so I start hooking up with her, and like, and her boyfriend's fucking her or whatever, and I just couldn't get hard because I just nutted
did it,
that,
yeah.
and like, so the end, I managed to fucking muster up some boner. But I was even like, I think I even said to them, I was like, I feel like I'm disappointing my fans right now. I felt bad, dude.
You ever have a situation where like they think that there's a shot after, where like after you hook up in the town, they're like, "So what are you doing tonight? What are you doing tomorrow?" And you're like, "Oh no, this was not this. This is not
like,
the situation." They think that there's a love story in this.
I don't think I've ever gotten, like, I think people are pretty on board with what it is, especially because I'm very, like, on occasion, I have like gone out for drinks with a girl before, and like we'll hang out a little bit before, or we've been texting for a while before. On occasion that happens, but most of the time I'm like, "Hey, do you want to come to the hotel room?" Like I'm very just direct. Very direct about it. I don't try to blur the lines about what's going on. Sometimes they want to like hook up for the weekend, and I haven't done that. I guess I would if there wasn't. I don't know if it's ever happened where they want to hook up for the weekend and I don't have other options.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like that novelty of having someone new come through is very fun.
Well, with the state of the world right now, is this something? And I think the way you're handling it, where you're very above board, you're like, if you want to come and do this, that's fine. It's not a situation where you're like, "Oh, I'm in love with you," or like you're not love bombing or anything like that. Are you worried about it taking a turn on you though?
I'm not, because of how clear I am about it. Like, who is that Cleveland basketball player? The guy who was, Tristan Thompson, where he was like, she's like, "I'm gonna be at your game," and he's like, "Oh, really?" And then she sends the emoji, and he's like, "You trying to catch the pipe?" Like he,
that
like,
was J.R. Smith. That was J.R. Smith.
Oh, J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Fucking, of course it's J.R. Smith.
Well, because he slid in the DMs of the old co-host on the radio show that I'm on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
that.
And literally just like pipe ?
Yeah, like
that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
And
I love the mission.
I think when you operate like that, I think it's when you blur the lines or you lie or you're trying to be manipulative in any sort.
Hurt their feelings.
Yeah, like that. When you're just like, "Hey, listen, like I want to have sex. If you also want to have sex, and like that's the game, then I think you avoid a ton of problems. Yeah, just don't. My policy for a long time has been don't lie. Because I dated this girl, this was a while back, and we were fucking, and the sex was great, and then she kind of gave me an ultimatum where she was like, "Hey, like, I really like you, we should date." And then we dated for a bit, and the dating wasn't great. We kind of like fought a lot, and I didn't want to date. I didn't want to, but I was kind of like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose the pussy," so just like kind of like say yes.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. And since then, I've been like, no, just be. If you don't want to date someone, just be very upfront.
Yeah.
And if you keep fucking after they give you an ultimatum, if they have to tell you, "Hey, this is just sex to me," and if they want to keep hooking up, then you keep going. If not, then you leave it and you go in another direction and find someone who's open to that.
Right.
And that just saves you a ton of headache.
Has any of these girls tried to baby trap you?
No.
Or like, have you had any like scares?
You
No.
put the hot sauce in the condom?
No, I don't do the hot sauce in the condom. But no girls has tried to baby trap me. I think most of because of what I cultivate and because of who I am, I think most of these women are like, I wouldn't say anti-children, but definitely aren't like really looking to have kids.
It seems like you have a good radar, and like you can kind of pick up on like who is the right person for the situation.
Yeah.
Through being that honest. Like,
Yeah.
there's no games, there's no like I said, love bombing or anything like that. It's just like we're gonna have some fun, have some sex, and then like
We're going to have some sex.
have a good
Yeah,
day.
and
Having a good night.
I also think it's my perception and philosophy on sex is like that. It's not like if I think there was like definitely a while back. I think a lot of thought has changed on this, but like if a guy is having sex with a chick, he's almost like taking something from her.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, and it's like, oh, I'm having sex with you in the hopes that this develops into a relationship or something. But I think that mentality towards sexuality is completely gone. Like I think everyone is out fucking
Yeah,
and
people
fucking.
just wanna fuck.
Yeah, it's just something you do for fun, as if you would go to like an amusement park or
There's, like,
something.
parties, there's, like, orgy parties people
Yeah.
have and shit.
And so I think going to that mentality, like, hey, we're just this is an equal exchange. We're both fucking and we're both having a good time, and that's it. Yeah, like I think all that mentality, it goes the same thing I was saying before. It saves you a lot of problems.
Is there any interest or any thing that has happened in the past where you get into the industry?
No, I mean that
OnlyFans.
question has been brought up to me a few times by a few different people. No one of like stature, like there hasn't been like I don't know, like
Alexis, Texas.
yeah, Alexis,
sliding
Texas
in.
Like
being.
OnlyFans models wanting to collab.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like that has happened. A couple people have been like, oh, when is it going to happen? I would like to do more stuff in that space of like interviewing porn stars, talking to porn stars, maybe making content and creating
Right,
stuff with
right.
them. But because I find the porn space very interesting, and I also think it's also neglected from the mainstream. And
Yeah.
some of these porn stars have a lot more star power than some massive celebrities.
Yeah.
Like I think,
Angela White.
like yeah, Angela White has more star power than like a lot of people you would see in like a multi-million-dollar movie. So I think working in that space and creating stuff, and then comedy and porn have gone together hand in hand for a long time.
Yeah.
And comics are kind of in the same realm where our craft is disregarded and not considered as art or not considered as like a mainstream or whatever. It's this sort of dark underground thing. It's changing a lot for both sides. But that is as much as I think I would want to get involved. I would like to do like more exclusive comedy content that would require like a porn angle. Nothing I want to say on here because I have some good ideas that I wouldn't want to throw out. That like would require stuff that you couldn't put on cable.
Right.
But isn't porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel shackled to it?
No, I'm
You
dude.
bring it in with open arms.
I am so grateful for being in the position I'm in. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm 31 and I'm already in a position where I'm like, oh, I could buy property. I can keep touring. I have a fan base. I sell tickets. Like when I started doing stand up, I didn't think about where it would go. I was just like, just get funnier.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm in a position now where things are going quite well and seem like they're going to continue to keep going well. I'm just fucking happy, dude.
Yeah.
How long
yeah.
ago
Yeah.
did you start stand up?
I started stand up like 11 years ago.
Okay, so
Oh, hell yeah.
you've
Yeah.
been doing it a long time and started at a very young age too. So that's a good. I was 22 when I started. I've been at about 20 years now. And was there a moment where you felt it start to click, or like when you started to do crowd work or like just like a bit that you were working on and then it finally all kind of like came together? Do you have some of those aha moments?
So the crowd work stuff, like that kind of was an offshoot of us being forced to make our own work. So in Canada, there's a huge monopoly on comedy. There's only really two companies that do like cross-country tours, and one is this thing called Callback that does mainly just West Coast stuff, a lot of stuff in Alberta, and then there's Yuck Yucks, and Yuck Yucks is kind of this like almost like a cancer on the Canadian comedy industry, where they have clubs all over, and they'll put you on tour if they like you, and they'll work you if they like you. But also, if you sign with Yuck Yucks, they don't want you to work any other clubs. There's a lot of places they don't want you to go and do stand up, even like within the city you're in.
Wow.
And
Big
so
time possession.
and
kinda
they
deal.
pay you like if you get $30,000 a year from Yuck Yucks, you're one of the top paid dudes.
Wow.
Like they give you almost nothing and take everything, and they hold back so much talent. And so in order for us to get work, when we started to get to that like 5, 6, 7 year mark of doing stand-up, where you're like, okay, I got like 45 minutes. That is like good.
Yeah.
And I want to test my headlining skills. These people weren't giving us an opportunity. So in order to make that opportunity for ourselves, we started like cold calling venues and putting together our own tours. The first 2 tours, I did most of the booking for the first one. The second one I did half, and then the guys who I was on the road with, I think we did 5 or 6 in total. They took over the entire booking side. So fucking huge shout out to fucking Andrew Packer and Jacob Bolshin.
Shout
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Who are like, Andrew's killing it right now. He has like over 1 million followers on YouTube, and like
Yeah, he was here a few over the summer and met him, and a very funny dude, and like love his work ethic, love his ability to just get out there and just create.
Oh yeah,
like,
dude.
all that stuff. So
He like the crew that I went on the road with was great, and that from doing like we were doing like bumfuck nowhere Canada. Like we're going out to places like Lac La Biche, Alberta, where I mean, great town, had super fun shows there,
That sounds
but
made up.
Yeah.
Honestly, that doesn't sound real at all.
but it's not a place where you're like, oh, this is a comedy hotspot. We were going to all these places where when we were doing a show in that town, we were the only thing going on. So then it made it way easier to sell tickets.
Yep.
And we wouldn't count on ticket sales. We would charge the venue a flat rate, and then they sell tickets for whatever the fuck they want. So it takes the pressure of selling tickets off of us because we couldn't move tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
and it also puts the pressure on the venue to promote it because they're like, okay, we got this, we got to make our money back at least on this. I'm in a situation where like regionally I can sell tickets. Like I did some shows with these guys out in their town, and we moved a good amount of tickets.
Yeah.
And it's helped you guys learn how to produce shows.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
hope
yeah.
that through that you've learned like, okay, we can create the hype around the comics so that people will show up and they know we put on a good show.
Yeah, it's been new learning that. We started hosting shows 3 months ago when we had the first show with him and a local guy, Matt Roca. Shout out, Matt. That was my show. We sold out the first show. We almost sold out the second show. And then we had Nick's show, which was the day before Christmas Eve, which was we were going to kind of put it to the test to see how that would go out. And we almost sold out that show.
Christmas Eve is a hard market.
Yeah,
hard
we-
time though.
Second,
It
it was
was like,
the
hit or miss.
Saturday of Christmas. So
Yeah.
we were like, let's see if people really want to show up. And we almost sold it out. And now we have this one coming up next weekend, actually. He's opening up for John Armstrong and Noah Ryan's.
January
featuring.
27th.
Right on.
John's the guy that's hosting for you this weekend.
Okay, awesome.
Oh,
awesome.
hell yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I love that DIY attitude of like, okay, there's not a space for me. I'm going to go make one. And then you can implement that. And also gives you a matter of worth way earlier on than if you are just, like you said, going to Yuck Yucks and they say, this is what you get paid
Yeah.
no matter what. And that can be devastating when you get locked into that and you go, is this even worth it anymore? And it kind of takes a lot of the fun and the creativity out of it because you're so worried about just paying bills and stuff. So when you get to that mark of like, okay, we're making enough money for me to focus on the jokes and the creativity and have fun up there, not just trying to sell T-shirts or merchandise to make ends meet. It's a very good way to go about it. So for you being as young as you were when you did that, I got to give you props for that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and that is, it made us so much better as comedians.
Yeah.
Being able to get to stretch your legs, get the long stage time, perform in front of all these different audiences and
That's
with
huge,
different
too.
challenges.
Yeah.
Like some shows were good, some shows were real bad.
Yeah.
Understanding how to like set up a room and like the importance of like the lighting. Like there was some shows where it was like we're doing a 3:00 show, so we get there early and put like garbage bags on the windows so it seemed so dark in the
dark.
room.
Yeah.
Stuff like that to really make it happen. And that's where we started to really get like crowd work chops, because sometimes you're in a place where like none of your material is really going to relate with these people, and like crowd work was your way to like cobble together a set. And then it wasn't until right before I left to move to New York, I did like a going away show. I did one show at Comedy Bar in Toronto. And I started with crowd work because I would typically, what I was doing up to that point when I was headlining is I would do 10 of crowd work off the top and then go into material. And I did 10, and then 10 turned into 15 and 20. And then I think I was doing 45. And I look at my my phone because I'm always timing, and I'm like, oh, I've been up here for 30 minutes just doing crowd work. And so I was like, okay, keep it going. See, let's challenge myself, see if I can do it. And I did do the whole thing. And then with the crowd work clips being kind of the backbone of promoting yourself as a comic right now, so you're not burning your material, it just became a necessity for my shows to implement both, where I'm like, I'll do a bunch of crowd work off the top, and then we'll go into the material in the second half. And then also when I'm doing crowd work bits, they'll flow, or crowd work moments, they'll flow into bits. And then we'll get a big pop, and then I can move on to like kind of the next question I want to ask people with the crowd work. And yeah, I just see it as something that you have to kind of be doing. I mean, you don't have to. There's a lot of people are making
that's the thing. There's no one way to do it, and that's why when people get on people about doing crowd work, I'm like, it's either good crowd work or it's bad crowd work. It's either good joke writing or it's bad joke writing. It's either for you or it's not for you. So trying to gatekeep or trying to minimize what somebody else is doing out there, getting fans that maybe you're jealous of, or it doesn't matter. Like if you want to do something, you have to put stuff out. But I know so many people that complain about, you know, like a guy like Matt Rife or something like that. I'm like, yeah, but you don't post anything.
Yeah.
All you say is I have albums out already, and like nobody, like that's not gonna activate anybody to do anything.
Re-record those albums with video and put all the bits out individually if like that material is already burnt, and like
exactly.
It's like it's the same as like you go back to whatever the 80s and the 90s, it's like you had to work for late night and write for a TV show. Maybe you're writing jokes that you're not super passionate about, or like this is just you. If you're making it through any industry, you're going to be paying your dues. And then one of the new formats of paying your dues in stand-up is doing crowd work clips. And that's just how it is.
Yeah. And they're fun. I think there's some really fun ones out there. I really enjoy watching what you do with them. And like you said, when you can take crowd work, tie it into your material, and then kind of bring it together and give that audience such a unique experience that's kind of one and done, that gets people to come back and see you again.
Yeah.
Because they know even if I hear material that he did in a previous set, I know there's going to be some aspect of it that is unique and individual for this exact performance. And that will get people coming back again and again and again, so that you can even kind of like play hits, but also like what you were saying, what Bert does with the Machine story, where he keeps himself engaged with that story and the people that have seen him multiple times by adding asides and adding things into it that aren't always there.
Yeah, since we started this podcast, we've started to learn more about comedy and like talk to comedians and everything. Got a great relationship with Bill now, and we've learned how important that is. And so seeing it, producing our own shows now, we had Chris Harvey on the second show, and Chris Harvey's fucking phenomenal. And he went in there and absolutely killed the room with crowd work for like 20 minutes. And we had Nick went up there. He did good. And then we had Elijah Neville, who also is phenomenal, went up there. He did his work. He did a little bit of crowd work, and you could tell that they were like there and not there. And when Chris went to make it more personal, everybody moved up in their seat. It was like that experience you're talking about is exactly what I saw. Was like, okay, everybody left there wanting to see Chris again, because they're like, what is he going to say? Like, he'll say those same jokes, but that crowd work he did to that table was the best thing of the night. And I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense, to where as long as you have that personal connection with them, it's like, I know that I can sit there and he might pick on me. And it's kind of like I would imagine in comedy it's kind of hard for some people with like the Matt Rife stuff that's happened, or it's like people are going to shows to try and dress up, to be on a video and try and do that. And it's gotta be annoying.
No, like I find my audience they're just there to come out and have a good time. I love my audience. They're wonderful. And because I get to do both, I get to like, it's almost a 50-50 split down the middle in terms of what I'm going to give them. And then it's also like, I see as this goes on, I'll be weaning out of the crowd work, and like the natural moments that'll happen will happen, but it'll be more the material, like move more into that space. But it's like, for now, for the amount of tickets I'm selling and for how I have to promote myself, these clips are vital.
Yeah.
Do you have a special in the can? Are you filming one? Or
so we're shopping something around now. So I have like my hour ready to go. And we're shopping that around, and then I have like the next, like I probably have a good 30 that I like right now, like maybe a loose 45 that I'm getting ready for whatever the next thing is. But yeah, so we're shopping something around now. And hopefully someone wants to buy it or finance it, and if not, I'll just self-finance. Like, I think putting stuff out on YouTube is always like a great option. My YouTube is not cooking, but you never know. That could be the thing that pops it off, right?
100%.
Yeah.
That is one of those things that it's tricky. Like when they started promoting shorts on YouTube, I got a big pop from that. But turning those shorts subscribers into actual engagement is a real tricky thing to do.
Yeah.
I got 70,000 subscribers, but none of them watch anything unless
The long form,
the long form stuff. So
it's like they're
like when I put a special out on there, they did come for that, but like my weekly uploads and stuff like that, they're just like, they'll watch it a little bit, but it's not part of their algorithm really.
For me, like I think it would like obviously it's great if you can get a lot of retention on your long form because that'll pay.
Yeah.
Like you get good money off of your YouTube from that. But for me, I'm like the goal has always just been butts and seats.
Yep.
So if I'm getting views off of Shorts or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat's a big one now too.
Yeah.
Wherever you're putting your stuff out, if you're able to get that good retention and people are coming out off of it, I'm like, let's fucking go.
Have you found it tricky on Snapchat because they're so tight with
Snapchat's very strict.
Very strict.
Like some of the stuff.
I've had stuff pop and then get like blocked like after 30,000 or 100,000 views and
yeah,
whoops.
And I'll be like, I really don't know what the line is for them or what they want or don't want. Like I think I have an idea of what TikTok doesn't want. I don't know what they do want.
Right.
I was talking about this I was just having this conversation with my buddy where he's doing well on TikTok, and so we're like trying to hash out like what, because you'll post something and it's like a certain style or a certain form of whatever, and then you're like, okay, I'll try to stick in that realm and it'll do whatever, get like fucking 10 million views off a video, and then so you're like, okay, well if I post something similar to that and it's like feed it with the jokes, write a new script around like the commentary on this video or whatever the thing is that you did, and then you post it and it gets like 10,000 views. You're like, what the? I have no clue what they want over there. Instagram, I have a pretty good idea, and Facebook, same thing. Facebook and Instagram are usually pretty consistent for me.
Instagram is at least, like you said, consistent because, and I'm sure you guys, because you've had clips pop.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of us have probably had the most consistent, like when we know what to put on Instagram and get results from, whereas the other ones, it's just like they just go every once in a while. They go, well, this one, and you think you got something, then it all.
There's nothing better for Instagram for the videos that you just expect to not do anything. For those to go, and you're like, but what am I doing different with this?
I don't know, man. Some things just take.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that's the lesson you have to learn within yourself, is to go, I'm not gonna obsess over the ones that don't.
You get back into the zen. I kind of write it up, and then when I feel like a little too jittery, I'm like, okay, take it out. That's the thing I do really like about the Zyn, is that it's like weed is like, you smoke weed, you smoke a joint, you're in the realm of weed for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like with the Zyn, it's like, man, I'm as soon as it's done and it's out, it's like maybe an hour of the whole experience. I'm like, fucking, let's go.
Just absolutely locked in.
Yeah.
Love it,
dude, love it. Oh, bro.
Cody Ray.
Yeah,
There you
you have a couple shows coming up tonight. Do you have like a pre-show ritual?
Oh,
Or is it
yeah,
pretty much
actually,
like-
my pre-show ritual.
Such a good question every time, and we're like, Cody Ray, you should ask your question.
Well, it
Do
seems
it
like
every time.
Like a lot of the comedians like don't necessarily have one, but I've noticed like some singers do and stuff like that. So I guess it just depends on the type of personality.
It depends on the person. Same thing. We started this when we were on the road in Canada. We would do the Wim Hof breathing before we would go on stage. So if you guys know,
what is that?
So Wim Hof is like, he's the Iceman, that guy who does like the cold plunges and like controls all with his breathing. So he has this. It's not his. He's just popularized, and he's very open about that. But you basically do a system of hyperventilation. You take 30 breaths, like 30 in a row, and then you breathe out completely, and then you hold your breath for as long as you can, and then you breathe in, hold for 15 seconds, and then repeat. And I'll do 3 rounds of that, and that spikes your adrenaline. It oxygenates your blood. It gets you very focused. It really wakes you up.
Wow.
And
I'll have to
something
try that.
something I just started doing was when I start the Wim Hof breathing, I'll put a Zyn in.
Focus, dude. You gotta be locked
Yeah,
in.
Fucking
really
shout
do
out
that.
to
Zyn, sponsor these guys.
Yeah,
They use it. He uses it.
we're about it.
Yeah.
It's
honestly, it makes me like I had a bad experience the first time. Him talk, I didn't know there was levels to Zen. I'm gonna try a lower level and try and work myself up.
Yeah, he's a threes guy. I'm a six.
The nicotine focus is huge. But yeah, that is always a pre-show ritual. You try to there's the little things. Don't be hungover. Make sure you get a good night's sleep. Like my whole like last night, some people were like, "Yo, come out. We're going to the fucking strip club. We're doing this." I'm like, I got 2 shows tomorrow. Like I can't. I won't.
Party like that.
I went home. I got like a steak salad at the club.
Solid.
Ate that and then watched anime and went to sleep. Like that was my shit last night.
That's good discipline to have too when you're on the road, because it is so tempting, especially when you are selling tickets and you know it makes you feel like a star, and you go, okay, let's go out and do this, and you can learn real fast that it burns you out and can wreck everything. So for you to have that mindset of like, I got to focus, I'm here to do work, that's impressive.
Yeah,
for someone that's only 31, because there's plenty of people that come through here and they are in their 40s and 50s and they tear it up, and then
absolutely
they still are able to turn it on stage, but you can tell they're pulling from deep.
Yeah, and I don't people are paying to come see me and they're excited to come see me, and I want the fucking show to be a smash.
Right.
And I want to give them everything I possibly give them. That's why I do the Wim Hof breathing. That's why I'm putting the Zen in, because I'm like, well, the quality of the show is whatever.
That's why you're putting
5-10% better. But I'm like, all these little things. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're taking your supplements. Make sure you're getting a good night's sleep. All those individually, one of those things you might not see a huge shift, but if you're doing them all, the quality of what the product you're going to create is going to be so much better. And that's the biggest part of the pre-show ritual will be all kind of day today. I'll be getting my shit done. I had my workout earlier. I'll make sure I'm eating clean, because you want to be focused.
Going to social media, what was the one, because you've absolutely hit fire over the last X amount of time for social media. TikTok, you have 7.7, I think it was. I saw it. It's unreal. What was the one that you probably had a couple prior to it? What was the one that actually hit numbers? We were like, holy shit, this could actually work in my network.
So there was I had started it, kind of all trails back to me I worked for this YouTube channel for a while called Most Amazing Top 10.
Nice.
And it was you would script a top 10 list, and then you would record it, and I would try to make them funny and stuff. And then they put me on their reaction channel, and that was just me riffing. And that comboed with, I took an improv acting class because I wanted to book more commercials, because that was kind of what was really paying me when I was a beginner comic. That allowed me to make sure I was making rent. And so that improv acting class taught me trust your first thought. That within the reaction channel, then the TikTok came around. Right before I started posting stuff on TikTok seriously, I made this series of Instagram stories about this show called Blood of Zeus, and about how fucking ridiculous the opening of the show is, because it's Zeus is spying on this chick and she's married to this king, and then Zeus would transform himself into the king and come and bang her, and what? Dude, and then at one of the points she calls him out on it, and then it's what's it, Hera, whoever his wife is watching Zeus from heaven, being I can fucking see his light in this woman's room. And then so she comes I can't remember who it was, one of the other gods sees that Hera's looking, and so he comes through a mirror and he's like, yo, Zeus, your wife is fucking watching right now. And so Zeus goes back to Olympus, and she walks into his room, and she's that the fact that he's there, she's kind of huh? And she goes, where were you? And he goes, oh, I was with Poseidon. And he goes, oh, I was with the boys? That was his excuse. And I was like, this is the most absurd dog shit I've ever seen. There's supposed to be noble gods. And he's like, oh, I was hanging with the boys. And he's cheating on his wife. So I made a series of these stories of me just shit talking this show. And I put it up, and I still have it saved on my Instagram. It's one of your memories things.
Okay.
Because I was I thought I really liked making it. And then I was okay, let me try to implement this in a different way. And then I saw my buddy Andrew, actually, who was doing TikToks. And this was during COVID, where we were doing a show in fucking Kingston, Ontario, and there was maybe we were doing 5 shows, and then there'd be 50 people at each show. And he made a TikTok and posted it and got 3,000 views. And I'm like, man, I would have to do fucking 20 shows at this venue or 30 shows at this venue to be able to hit that same audience. Or no, what is it, 60 shows? Yeah, because it's 50 people there. So I was like, all right, even if they're getting 3,000 views, it's worth it. So I just started making this content with that same idea in mind of just doing this commentary. And I was like, everything you make, try to punch in as many jokes as possible. The bells and whistles of how it's recorded and how the video looks or what you're commentating on, that's not the important part. The important part is the jokes. And so then I took that to this one video that was going, everyone was commenting on it. It was one girl, and there was like 12 black dudes behind her, and they're in a bathroom, and they're all looking in the mirror, and everyone's commentary was like, she's gonna get railed, blah blah blah, can you da. And so I was like, okay, well, think outside the box, think outside of the first joke. What's your joke you can make about this? And I was like, oh, you're going to learn, instead of being like, oh, she's getting fucked or whatever, I was like, you're going to learn the pecking order of this friend group very quickly.
That's great.
Like
That's
who
so good.
is the top dog? Where are you in the friend group? And you're also going to learn, can you perform in front of your friends? Do you have what it takes to get the job done?
So good.
And so it was always like, take something and think of a joke that's like outside of the first thought, which I think is that's just natural joke writing. That's what you want to do. And I just kept going with that theme. And I mean, I make a lot of content. So sometimes I'm like, fuck, I just got to get content out today. But there have been some. There's one that I just reposted that I'm like, this is one of my best. It's this girl on the fan bus, and they're interviewing. They always interview these girls on the fan bus. And they go, what's your sexual fantasy? And she goes, I want to be locked in a room with my boyfriend, his 3 brothers, his dad, his grandpa.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. And then it cuts to me, and I'm like, it's just nice that we can all get together like this. And I'm like, everyone wants to say she's for the streets, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, the funny part about this is it's hard to get your family together for an event and hang out.
And like catch up. Like,
exactly.
Hey, Devin, how you been, man?
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite ones is the Taekwondo or something like that, where she's got the guy pinned and she rubs her pussy all over his face, and they're like, "Oh, sign me up."
Yeah. Well, one jujitsu, please.
Jiu-jitsu, what it was.
That's something I've been trying to do more of, where I was like, I definitely do like a lot of just straight talking to camera reaction, but I was like, if I can do like a little sketch afterwards, that's fun.
Yeah.
And use the video at the beginning as the prompt for the sketch. So I did one recently that was like a girl getting waxed, and she was like, I wanted to record my reaction, and she heard the lady go like, "You have a beautiful vagina," and she's like, "Thank you." And then it cuts, and I do this little sketch after that. Is like, if dudes went to the esthetician, and I'm like, "That's your hog, bro? Fucking sick." I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make you look good. I was like, "I'll let you fuck my wife with that hog." And then I'm like, "Yo, man, you want a zin, dude?" And I fucking pull my lip out, and I got a zin in like that. I'm like, "Hey, if you can do a little sketch after, try to do more of those, because those are fun, and I think it's a little bit of a different take." And I don't do sketches in either way, but I have ideas for sketches, and it also keeps in that realm of where I don't need the bells and whistles. I don't need like a 3-camera shoot. Right. I don't need labs or anything like that.
Right.
It's just quick and fun
yeah.
and punchy.
Yeah, I can create a green screen, get the joke across, and that's it. And the quality of what people are coming for is the joke, not the setting or the scene or the fucking 4K camera.
Now,
I had one that I wanted Elijah to do when the guy jumped over and attacked the judge.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Because like that night, everybody was talking about it at all the comedy shows, and Elijah's like this 19-year-old black kid, and I wanted him to do a post-game press conference of that, where he's just like, through God, all things are possible, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He would have killed that.
I know, that was such a quick thing. Like, it was that day, and then it
that's something I'm trying to get better at, is what is the current thing, and do something on that thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I lag on that a little bit, and I'm like, you really want to hit the whatever the thing is. Yeah, exactly. And the same thing, come with that outside of the box joke, so that you have a different take on it. One of the best ones I saw from the whole fucking Jewish tunnels thing. One of the most insane things that's happened. But what happened with that, there was this meme that was going viral it's Kane in WWE, and he's getting dragged underground, and it says, when you say free Palestine on a New York street, and he's like, no! Yeah. And I'm like, that's the joke you want to find. You want to find that joke. There's always someone who like wins a trend, I would say. And I'm like, that joke won the trend for me, at least. I was like, that was the best joke that came out of this.
In that whole thing, there was one, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Jews.
Yeah.
And it was a photo, and it was 4 of them, and we got it sent to us. And they were like, all jokes aside on this, why does this photo look like Boogered Up? And I swear to God, it looks exactly like the crew of Boogered Up in the drain. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I was like, do we post this for shits and giggles, or are we about to get smoked if we're like, that was actually us?
Yeah.
Is that your algorithm that you get these from, or do people send them to you?
It's a mix of both. So I would say most is my algorithm.
I was about to say, having a dry January and having to make content, you're like, not.
Every now and again, something comes through. I find my algorithm, usually my Instagram Reels algorithm is the hottest. And it's not even, I don't get really like any ass or titties on my Instagram algorithm, or my Reels algorithm at least. It's mostly like, if I was to describe it, like people's misfortune. Like it'll be like a kid eating ice cream and it falls over, and then a guy on a skateboard and it hits him in the nuts, and then like it just a series of that. Like one of the fucking funniest videos I saw is this dude. He has his foot up on like a table or something because his big toe, the nail is like partly ripped off. So you can tell he's like he's just resting it, and his buddy comes up and sprays cologne on it, and he's like that is my Instagram algorithm. Oh, dude, it's so, I would say more of like when I'm scrolling my main feed, you know how you'll get like a series of reels to look at? Yeah. That's where the ass comes from. The ass is in that part, my search page a little bit too. But a lot of the ass stuff gets sent to me. I got one cooking that I'm excited to put out today. It'll be out by the time people hear this, but there was these like 4 super hot midgets that made a video, and I was like, I'm doing a video about like deep diving into their stuff because they have this thing called Tiny Tenders where they're bartenders and they're bartending a Super Bowl party in Nevada.
Like
and,
raisins from South Park.
Dude, yes. And I was like, I just tried to did like a bunch of puns. I do like a series of puns. Like I can't remember what I said first. I was like, I'm converted to mini muff, like just stuff, and like kept the puns going throughout the video, and then was like at the end, I'm like, how do I get the Tiny Tenders at a Durena show? Like I want that so bad, dude. But that I can't remember how I found that video. It might have been sent to me, but that might have been a natural algorithm thing.
I love that for you. I love that you're dry January. You're like, all right, now I'm going to put myself to the test. I got to make content, but also not get bricked up and go at it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've noticed X has a lot of like ass and titty too.
X, so X I'm not on a ton. I would say my Twitter's like not really cooking, but I'm posting there every day. But I don't really know what Twitter is offering me. Like Twitter, some of the shit on there is fucking horrifying. Yeah. Like that's the most where I'll see like people just dying. Like,
bro, I swear
why is that a thing?
Yeah,
bro, I swear to God, or you just see people falling from skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Also, why do I stop and actually watch it through?
Well, because you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, you can't believe it.
Last night I had like 3 head stomp videos back to back to back. After like the 3rd one, I was like, I know what's gonna happen. I can't watch that one again.
This page is restricted videos. I know it because it doesn't have
funny bone.
Like a profile picture, it's just like a question mark and it's gray. And like, bro, I'm like, oh my God, like this dude just got his leg caught in a wood chipper.
Yeah.
I see this shit.
And I'm just like, why is this on? Like I wouldn't say it's a lot of it, but I'll get that, and then sports stuff. My X algorithm, I get very little content to react to from. I still look at it every day to try and find something because you never know what's going to be trending on there. And they have a whole, I think Twitter's very current. Twitter is very this is the new hottest thing, and I think it gets there before it gets to like Instagram or something. So it's good to be on top of those things.
Did you guys see what's going on X with Mr. Beast?
Well, he posted his video directly to there, right?
It actually, so they were talking about it with Musk and him and such, and they were going at it about like putting out a full video. and doing that, so then you can see how much money comes in from ads on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I saw yesterday he posted it, and he said Monday he's gonna show how much, because it was like 100. Last time I saw it was like 153 million views on it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see how much X was actually paying out people. But I'm curious to see if that might be an actual push if he starts making that an actual payable thing that can compete with YouTube.
Yeah.
If that's where he's gonna get, because he's been at a loss forever with X.
And
Oh,
Theo
yeah?
Hunt's put
Yeah.
out a couple episodes
Just on X because
like the
they would
Roseanne
get
episode.
Yeah. What I've heard, what people are saying that X could potentially be is the new platform for podcasts, because people are like, YouTube's amazing, but they do have a lot of censorship rules, and being able to work around that, because like, an hour-long podcast, you say this thing or that thing, or we're podcasting, you're just going. You're not. I'm not thinking about like, oh, am I saying this? What opinion is this? Da da da. And like,
well, just the fact that we talked about the tunnels in New York, that might be something
Right.
that they'll be like, can't talk about the tunnels in
fake
New York.
Yeah.
Immediately gets-
someone said
yeah.
free Palestine. I've been doing that.
and so that's the freedom is something that I think people are really looking for. I've said this for a little while, and I don't know if it's true, but I think
Bold take.
we're gonna
Here we go.
we're gonna go into a realm of what is basically HBO for these you can't even call them streamers, like these social media platforms.
Okay.
So we have right now, what I think we're in is like the cable era of when you had like CBS, NBC, you have like great sitcoms, great series, but no, you can't swear, you can't show tits, you can't do any of that stuff. And as an audience gets older and wants mature content, but still consumes media through this medium, they're going to want that. And so someone is going to make what is akin to HBO for these, where it's like, now, what if you want to have a sketch where you have tits in it? Yeah. It's like, what it doesn't have to be like derogatory or violent or anything, but it's just like a part of the joke or a part of whatever, just the way like Sopranos was like, okay, we're gonna have swearing and tits and stuff in it.
And Danny McBride does a lot of that with his stuff too.
Yeah. And so that I think is what we're going. I don't know when, but I think it's budding now, because we're definitely moving away from the censorship stuff and moving away from like the PC culture, the cancel culture. Like that wave is ending.
Yeah.
And when you've done this as long as I have, you see that pendulum swinging back and forth.
Yes.
Because it goes. When I started, things were pretty tight, because it was right after the tit was on the Super Bowl, so like everybody was worried about what you can say on TV and radio, so everything was real tight. But then because of the rise of social media and Sirius XM radio and stuff like that, it started to loosen up again. And then you got the Me Too era, and then things kind of tightened up again. And now it's going back the other way. People want, I mean, you see it with people at your shows, where they want you to push some boundaries and have some fun. It doesn't mean they want you to be hateful or shitty or anything like that, but they just want to hear something that isn't sanitized.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. Sanitized.
Yeah, I'm not going into that room, so then I can still worry about what's going on outside.
Right.
That's why, like, I was a big fan of Grey's Anatomy, and I was watching that. I watched fucking like all the way to like season 14 or whatever the hell it was. But then like every time on
Sure you don't like to
Thursday-
get pegged?
No, dude. Hey, let me tell you, dude. That show fucks. All right. Back in the day, I was in college. I would skip classes just to sit there and binge watch.
McDreamy.
Really?
Dude,
Wow.
Grey's Anatomy used to fuck. But like there was one season that it was just all like with COVID that was going on and everything of that nature. They were having every single episode was about something in the real world, and I was like, for this hour, I don't want that. I want to sit down and not worry about anything else except for just laughing or like feeling emotions or whatever that is. So I'd imagine with what you're saying, with what we've seen, it's definitely pushing more to like hey, make me like a little uncomfortable. Make me have to take a shower after that joke because it's kind of fucked up, but I'm laughing.
And it's also like I feel like we put, I don't want to say we, but like there was this tone that it was like media's responsibility to have some sort of representation or some sort of cleanliness or something like that, where it's like, I mean, that you should have that standard for like your politicians and your police chief and like for the people who have like an actual physical impact on your life. And like media is so little to change what's going on around you in the world. It's supposed to be a little bit of a distraction. It's supposed to be your circus that you enjoy. And so I hope, and I think we are going to end that a necessity for it to have a message on top of what it's trying to do.
And it also is a thing where when you're talking about certain topics, you're acknowledging that a lot of us are pretty powerless in these situations. Like you take what's happening in Israel and Palestine. None of us here can do shit. Like there's not one like posting an infographic on our story isn't gonna make them go, all right, like well now that Che posted it, we'll do a ceasefire. Like they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's and so when you can make light of those things and kind of take some power away from the heaviness of the situation and just say, hey, we can cry or we can laugh, and I'd rather laugh.
Yeah.
And if you do want to see those changes, like I don't know, don't go for comics for that. Like they're like, it's like, yeah.
Don't tune into the Boogered Up or Bill Squire Show to find out the answer of how we can solve the world.
Exactly. Like I don't got the answers. And part of the reason why I avoid politics in my comedy is one, because I'm not very well informed on them. And two, I don't think people should come to me for any advice on those things.
Right.
You should go to people like the way I've
You come to Che for gooning.
Yeah, for gooning. Get to the bottom of gooning. That's what we're doing over here. And you should, if you do want some headway on that, there's someone out there who has taken the same amount of time I've taken towards comedy to like social issues and social justice or to political standings and educated themselves on that. That's who you should be going towards. What's his name? Dave Smith? Dave Smith,
or even a guy like Jon Stewart. Like
like those are
that's what he's good at. Like
Yeah.
that's why he was the Daily Show host. That's why he's got the Apple Show. The reason is because he is well versed in all this stuff. I talk about having man tits. Like that's a different.
Yeah.
Like don't same thing. Like don't ask me how I feel about political stuff. Now there are certain topics where like they hit closer to home for me, and I'll talk about those. But it doesn't mean I'm like dismissing or trying to make a political stance. It's just something that affects my life, so I talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what I like about podcasting too, is like I've listened to a handful of different eras of it and such to where I'm like, okay, I can see that this person has a belief system of this and I'm not going to take it for mine, and I'm going to listen to them and see what they have to say, even if it's like I'm a fan of Flagrant, so like Andrew Schultz, so like hearing what he has to say, I'm not going to hear him and think he's the news and be like, yeah, so I'm going to take this and this is what I'm going to believe, but I'm going to get the joke out and I'm going to enjoy that. And then going all the way to like Undisputed when Shannon Sharp was there.
Yeah.
I listen to that all the time and just hearing his take and fucking Skip Bayless, but hearing that, so I'm like putting all these things together to have a mindset of what I want to believe, which is awesome for, like you said, the world that we're in now with all these different outlets for it. You can kind of pick and choose what you want.
Dude, Shannon Sharp has had a wild rise, dude.
I love his ride.
Yeah.
I love now that he is unfiltered and crazy, and I love the fact I'm a massive Bengals fan.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's got it with Ocho now with his show, I tuned in to Undisputed purposely to see him deal with Skip. And we've had episodes where we're like, fuck Skip Bayless. Or just flat out, Skip Bayless sucks. And for him to do that, go off, and then pick Ocho up, because I was a fan of, God bless, what's the podcast he used to have with Fred Taylor and...
Oh, the dudes.
it's not Pivot. It's not Pivot. It was, oh my God, what was it called? I Am Athlete with Brandon Marshall. Ocho was on that. But he was that. He was that personality. He was that outlandish. I'm gonna eat McDonald's every day and I'm gonna be fit. And then you get Shannon and him together. I'm like, that is what everybody is always wanted.
Dude.
Is
Yeah,
that one right there.
Dude, they're funny together too. I see some clips every now and again from them. I've never like tuned in, but their clips are in my algorithm big
phenomenal.
Time. They're so good at what they do, man.
The one was just how much it was like. Would you get paid? It was like $500,000 to do OnlyFans or something like that. Would you get paid to be a part of that? And Shannon was like, how many inches they want? How many inches they want? I'll take it all out. I'll do the whole thing. It's like the personality, of Shannon Sharp to go on that line. You're like, oh, this is the great world we live in.
That goes to what we were talking about, where like there's these new portals opening up where people want their athletes to be real people.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want, we know Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco have lived crazy lives, and we want them to be able to expound on that and be the bros that they are without being punished for it, and without ESPN going, guys, can't talk about it like that. And that's why I think it's good that McAfee ended up on
100%.
ESPN, because it's taken not just chains off of him, but off the other personalities, where like Stephen A is going on, like He just lit up.
What
what's his
was
face?
that
Oh,
clip?
dude.
That was
Dude,
nuts.
talking
yeah.
shit about
Hey, what did he say? It's like-
Jason
Yeah,
Whitlock or whatever.
He called you just like eyes in the camera is like you bitch, and I was
Yeah.
like, who is this guy? What are we doing
Yeah, calling
here?
him fat,
That
calling him a
bitch,
bitch.
I had to
like,
look that guy up. I'm like, I don't know who he's talking about, but he hates him.
He was a guy that was on ESPN, and then he like took more of like a hard right stance, and so like he does more stuff for like Fox News and stuff like that, and just perpetually throws shade at Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen has taken the high road for long enough, and Stephen A. Smith is like, I'm not doing that anymore because you're making this not just personal, but like personal attacks, and so he took the gloves off.
Yeah, that was wild. I was of two minds about that because now we all are talking about this guy who we didn't even know existed
Yeah,
before.
right.
So I think it's almost better just to let them live in obscurity. Like you saw, when fucking, what's his name? Pusha T did the blast on fucking Drake and demolished him in that fucking, what are those called again when you fuck?
Freestyle.
Not a battle, freestyle, what's
Diss
going?
track.
Diss track,
Oh, yeah.
diss track. It fucking smashed him in the diss track. But Drake doesn't respond because then if Drake responds, it fucking elevates
lights-
Pusha T
yeah.
so much. And that's what happened with Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly. Eminem responds and then Machine Gun Kelly has a career. Not that Pusha T doesn't have a career. Pusha T is fucking doing really fucking well.
But
You feed when you're the bigger personality, you feed this person and bring them up now, which maybe that will happen with this guy, but I don't know.
in that Eminem MGK thing though, it brought MGK up, but it also still had to switch genres.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he had to leave rap. He
He's
had to
doing
leave
his
rap.
pop punk thing now,
He's
and
like
Yeah.
part
which
of
is fine, but
Twilight
it's like
now.
like the way I've watched some analysis of that where Eminem does his style and then jumps into MGK's style, then back to his style. Like it's phenomenal how he just took it all apart.
Yeah.
And like but it's fun for like that's what, as someone that's consuming the content, makes it so fun to consume, is like when there is just a fun celebrity beef that's not
Yeah.
litigious or anything like that. It's just two
I don't
guys
want to see
doing what they
somebody
do.
die, but I want to see
Yeah.
you guys feel. I want to feel as if there's gonna be shots fired at some point,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's no shots fired.
Yeah.
Just absolutely go at each other's throats.
What's his name? 50 Cent's beefing with someone right now.
He's always been.
He's 50 Cent's one of
he's
the
in
best
there
at
all the
beefing.
time.
He's great at it, and he usually just
great
says something
beefer.
and people don't even try to go back.
Right.
'cause He's very
He's all like
precise.
like if you go all the way back, like he beefed with like fucking Ja Rule and the
Yeah.
game and like dude, all
Did he
you
bought all the seats. In the,
beefed with all those. Then he beefed with Kanye, and then fucking Floyd. Like he's always fucking like he's so good at it. He's so good at it.
Yeah. All right. I want to get 2 questions in on this because this is where we're going to get really important questions. This is where it's going to get a serious podcast. Okay. Are you able to have a serious podcast?
Let's
for
do
this
it.
One? I would love to have this one. In the form of wiping your asshole, do you ball your toilet paper or do you fold it?
Fold every time.
Yeah, same.
Are you a ball guy? Are you
Have
balling?
you tried
Fold.
folding it?
Fold, yeah.
Fold.
You're balling it up? That's insane, dude. That's insane. The ball it up is chaos on your ass. It's like every little corner is getting more or less shit on it. It's like, no, the fold is the ultimate way.
I don't know, man.
More
Fold is
conservative.
for adults. The
Yeah.
ball is for children. Like it's.
I think I'm just.
Sometimes you gotta grow up.
I'm also like, I shit immaculately. Like my shits are.
Explain, please.
You have a
I
bald asshole.
I've said this before. I'm in like the top 0.01% of shitters.
Clean cuts.
Clean cut shits, dude. My shits come out like a bar of soap. Like they're fucking firm, but they're sleek. Like they just shoot right out.
I gotta get on your diet.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I
What,
need that
dude?
diet.
Mine is far from that.
Dude, my shits are so. That's like a
battle
huge
demons.
barometer of like where I'm
What
currently
size are
at.
we talking though? Are you getting a full coil or is it like logging?
I mean, sometimes it depends on the day, right? How
Yeah.
much I was eating that day, but usually we're getting a little bit of a coil snake, or you just get one nice solid log.
Yeah.
But when I wipe, 2-3 wipes max. Like, and I'm fucking
Oh, two,
That's
three,
gotta be
2, 3,
nice.
fold, wipe, throw down in the water, fold, wipe, or are you saying wipe, done?
like I'm saying
Like
wipe done. Like I'm not wiping.
Same folds.
I'm not saying
Like
the same
You're
fold.
folding.
I'll wipe, fold in half, wipe,
Okay.
and then the next one goes if it's needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a lot of toilet paper for somebody that poops clean. You're just like,
Yeah.
all right, fold, wipe, fold, wipe,
no.
fold.
That's excessive.
No, you get your like one guy going, and then you wipe, and then you fold that guy in half.
Yeah.
And then you wipe again, and then usually I'm done wiping. Usually I'm like, oh, there's like almost nothing.
But sometimes you need that third one just to make sure that
it's
you got it all.
perfectly
Yeah.
good. But yeah.
I'm a big bidet guy, so I got bidets in both of my bathrooms and I
Both
like
bathroom bidet?
Yeah, both bathrooms.
I gotta get on that.
It's nice to have that because, but you get spoiled when you go to a hotel or when you're on the road and stuff
No
like that. And you're
bidet.
like, oh, now I gotta take a
Yeah,
shower.
I would imagine that's why
you get
I
so
Gotta
used.
take a shower.
You get so used
Yeah.
to having such a clean butthole that when it's just a wipe, like you know it's okay, but it's not the same.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I haven't bought a pocket pussy.
Yeah,
Because like
dude, you know.
imagine
Yeah,
you
bro.
find out you've been holding back on the prime and you're like, all right, I can never go back. And then you're like, I gotta go to my wife and I'm like,
I have a
you're
problem.
not my pocket pussy. bro."
they make molds for ladies parts.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
Where you can get their lips, and I sent it to a few different ladies, and I was like, "Hey, my birthday's in February. This is what I want."
I almost spent $90 on an Angela White butthole.
That's so funny, dude.
Just the butthole?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
Man,
that's
how much
great.
does the whole thing cost?
I don't know. Probably a pretty penny if the butthole's only $90.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right, and the second question we have is actually a question towards you, back to us on our podcast. We always have cracking questions from fans, so we get the questions, we answer them.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever we have a guest on, we wanted to throw it at you to ask a question to us.
Yeah.
Dirty, clean, anywhere in between. What's your cracking question to the goons and to
cracking
the Bill Squire?
Cracking question to the goons, the goon squad. I guess this is a question I ask at my shows a lot. What's your porn search category? What's the category? Squirting guy?
Big natural tits.
Big naturals? That's great. I like my big naturals as well, dude. I'm not a huge fan of the fakers. I like
watching the shape.
Yeah.
bro.
You gotta watch the wave.
Yeah,
Gotta watch the wave.
absolutely.
I'm like, damn, them tits are bouncing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, shout out to Angela White, some of the best big naturals in the market. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Vanessa Cage got some nice ones.
yeah.
Okay.
You
I gotta
just start
see-
running down names.
Lauren Phillips?
I would probably just go ass. I'm a big ass.
Just
guy.
ass,
Yeah,
straight
big
ass,
guy.
big ass.
Big
So you're
ass.
typing in big ass.
I would have to. I don't ever search though. That's my
Podcast.
problem.
Yeah.
I don't go to categories anymore. I go to porn stars because I got my select. And
Okay,
then I
who's
just,
your porn star?
She's not doing porn anymore, but Carter Cruz.
Oh, Carter Cruz. Dude, I just did a podcast with Carter Cruz. Yeah, Carter Cruz is great.
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
awesome. I love the eye roll. The eye roll is what gets me.
Yeah, when the fucking
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
first time I ever saw it, I was like, I don't know what she did, but that just did a lot
selling
of
it. It's
growth
selling
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
A lot of growth to me.
Peter Jensen.
I don't know Peter Jensen.
Knockers. Dude.
Yeah?
Knockers.
Okay, I'll have to check out Peter Jensen.
And I could just keep going, but I'm not gonna. I got some names.
yeah.
Oh, what was that? Kimberly? It's,
Kimmy Granger?
yeah.
Kimmy Granger. Yeah, dude. A friend of mine went on a date with her. He said she's very cool. Yeah.
Bella Danger?
I wasn't that guy. What the fuck happened here? What about you?
Like MILFs or cougars.
Milfs, cougars.
You gotta be careful the way you word it though. You start hitting like mature, then it gets a little
Yeah.
too old,
Yeah.
and then
That's on the
then
rise,
it's
though.
like
It is on the rise, and there's
Yeah.
there's sometimes you'll see one and you're like,
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
grandma
not
got
gonna
that
finish it,
grandma?
but I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch it for a little bit.
She's
Like,
still got it
yeah.
together. She's
You
still
want to
got it
get the
together.
cookies?
Yeah.
You want to have grandma's cookies?
Well, and you got to think some of these chicks, like, what's her name? Who's like she's like one of the top MILF chicks. I can't remember her fucking name. Fuck.
Lisa Ann.
No, not Lisa Ann. Or younger than Lisa Ann. More
what's she look
Mia
like?
Khalifa?
blonde.
Brandy Love?
Brandy Love. Brandy.
Nuts.
Man, I've been
Yeah.
jacking off so long. I remember when she was just a regular old young,
Yeah.
barely 18, and now she's in the MILF.
Remember Alexis
She was
Fox?
in the daughter.
Oh, I still fuck with
I
Alexa
do
Fox.
too.
Yeah.
But you could just tell like
Yeah,
like it's been
the
a while
journey,
since
yeah.
she started.
a
Yeah.
lot of miles on that
Dude,
puss.
you know, I
Yeah.
met. Yeah.
Snap.
Alexis Fox is a friend. I've met Alexis.
She's
Alexis. Yeah, she's great. She's
She
great.
seems like a really cool
Oh, she's
personality.
dope
I've seen
as
a couple,
hell.
like podcasts. with
Yeah,
her.
yeah, no, Alexis has been in the game for a while. I actually fucking shouted her out because she's another one
Shout
who she had a huge jump on Pornhub. She jumped up something like 13 spots in terms of like popularity. Yeah. Alexis been killing it, dude, killing the game.
And
She's
I
gonna
love the
bump up a couple more after this.
What's that?
She's gonna bump up a couple more after
This,
this.
yeah.
Get the goon bump.
Get the goon bump.
I also love
want
the
to edge
personality-wise that goes into that as well. You were talking about how comedy and porn also like have like a curtain that they're behind and such. But
Yeah.
seeing these people go out on the podcast like Angela White and like Carter Cruz doing her DJing stuff,
Yeah.
going on with Bert and everything,
Yeah.
seeing a whole different line. It's like
Yeah.
this is awesome.
It's
and like
great.
Yeah.
a Bella Danger, like been #1 forever, but
Going
she's
back to
smart
school.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Like and nobody wants to go on there and be like, how smart are you? But then you go in the back scenes, you see their interviews and such. We're like, ask me about something that's not my ass. And you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to talk to you about.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, you don't have knowledge like I do.
But
But nobody would imagine that when you're just watching this and you got to turn it off quick so you don't feel disgusting after.
No, I think porn's becoming such like I don't know if I want to say necessity, but it's just like as a standard part of the culture. Everyone's watching porn, everyone's consuming it. So it being a platform towards something else is just becoming a natural progression.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like
And with
WWE,
all the
dude.
people doing like OnlyFans and stuff like that, it's getting destigmatized in a
Yeah.
lot of ways too. Where people, especially younger generations, they're like, yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not a big deal to see someone naked or to get naked to
Right.
make money and stuff like that. All right, my categories. I'm gonna give you 2. These are a little more out there. CFNM,
That's closed male.
clothed female, nude male. And here's the genre that I got into. This is something I haven't really
Say it
watched in a
again?
while.
Yeah, what? Pardon?
Clothed female, nude male. And so
yeah.
here's what it.
I've
This is
dabbled.
this is what,
yeah. I know this one. Yeah.
this one. There were these videos back in the day, and it was like the dancing bear.
Yeah.
And like yeah. So like these guys, they're strippers, and they go to these parties and they start dancing around the girls, and then the girls start like sucking their dicks and shit. And like going like they'll put like whipped cream on it. But before those there were these other ones that I'm pretty sure were from the UK, and it was the same thing, but it was real people.
Oh yeah.
So it was like someone like, and it was crazy to see because some girls in there would be hot and they start jerking these guys off and like sucking their dick and like pull their tits out. But then you'd also see just like a 50-year-old mom with a Karen haircut just start fucking jacking a guy off and sucking his dick.
Oh, so
And you know she's got a husband and stuff.
Yeah,
And-
okay.
and so like there was just something that was so absurd about that really fucking got me.
the
Like,
reality.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, the
you
reality of it was like, oh yeah, getting your dick suck's cool pretty much no matter what. Like that's kind of how you feel about it. And then the other one is I like Joy videos or JOI where the girl tells you
Jerk off instructions.
jerk off instructions.
Do you
Yeah.
actually do that through the whole time process?
No, I kind of pick my spots. 'cause-
Have you ever tried to go through like the 20-minute and it's like go fast, go slow, go fast?
I mean, that's edging, right? Like that's kind of
I've done- yeah,
I've
I've-
done it, but like I don't last to the because it like
It's
you get
hard.
so worked up that you're like
I get mad at myself.
and then you go,
during
you're like,
that.
all right, this is an 8-minute video. I still got 5 minutes. I can come back to this video and watch it again, and we'll pick up where
Where we left
Yeah,
off.
last time on JOI. I should have probably closed that door.
There was there used to be these one videos that were like the challenges, and it would like have the pace that you had
You have
to
to
go
jerk
at,
off,
and
yeah,
it would
yeah.
like keep going through different videos.
Yeah.
And it just kept getting hotter.
Yeah,
Never
true.
won one of
True.
those.
No.
Never won.
yeah.
I ended up trying to do that one time, and I got so embarrassed and disappointed at myself because I was maybe halfway through, and she's like, "You're not done yet," and I was like, "I think I am. I'm so sorry," and I'm like, I just did it, and I was like, "This fucking sucks, dude." I
Yeah.
walked away mad.
So what's yours? What are your?
I love thick MILFs. That's like a go-to for mine. I like like really thick, meaty chicks. Pogs. That's a big one for me.
Yeah, like a big
Yeah,
old juicy
and
butt.
then usually.
Hey,
I love how Cody Ray just comes out of nowhere with, like, he's like pretty chill the whole podcast, and then he just hits us with that, and we're just like, God damn.
It's always the one-liner too. It's like Cody Ray's kind of creepy, but we love him at the same time. He's like, "Oh yeah, the juicy. I like that." Yeah.
I would say those are the big go-tos for me. And then I find I'll just mix in whatever kind of race that is just getting me going. Like if it's Latinas or fucking black, Asian, whatever. That's
Dude, a
all.
thick Asian is always a nice
Yeah.
thing to come by. Like,
Crazy, too.
well, and it's hard
Yeah.
because
I
like,
like it.
you'll get the ones that have like the bolt-on tits and stuff like that, and like that's fine. But like when you can find like a real big titty Asian, that's like
Oh, bro, I
that's a
know
new
it, bro.
tab.
That's one of those tabs you keep up, dude.
I like it.
And then I'll go to the classics every now and again. Like I like to go back and watch like a Gianna Michaels video or something
Oh,
like that.
God.
Ooh, I
Dude.
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I know. You forget about her, dude. Like Gianna
It
Michaels
was one
was,
of the first for me.
oh, dude. Yeah,
Or
She
go
was
she's
back
crazy.
and like watch a Riley Reid College Rules video.
something. Yeah.
Like when she was like 18, 19, and she was. Do you remember those videos? The
I
College Rules.
cannot ever watch one of her videos again after her rap video. It soiled me so bad because every time I see her and she's
Dropped
doing
so
her
many
stuff,
N-bombs.
dude, every time I'm like, oh my God. And then she's doing that. I'm like, oh, please, God, don't listen to that ever again. And then it
Yeah.
comes up on my Twitter and I have to watch it the whole
All the way through
through.
because you're like, this is
It makes me so
crazy.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who thought? Like, yeah, growing porn star, potentially #1. Let's put her in the booth and let her talk about how much she loves this shit.
Yeah. No, that is a
That's
wild.
that's
fucking
another
video.
growing trend though, is like females talking about shit like that, like sexy
Ice
red.
Spice?
And
Oh
like,
yeah. That's a whole. I think.
like that's like I don't know.
I think Cardi B kind of was like the catalyst for that, and there's always been someone in that space like
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, Nicki
Nicki
Minaj was like
Minaj.
she like walked so that Cardi B could run.
And what's
Like,
the chick, Little Kim?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
Lil' Kim,
They
yeah.
go
She's-
like there's always been someone in that
and
space.
Peaches and shit like that.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But those were like more obscure. I mean, Lil' Kim was out there, but it definitely ratcheted up way faster in the past 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is like super off topic, but whenever I think of Little Kim, I think of this. Something I want to be remade. Do you guys remember the game of Def Jam Fight for New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, Def Jam Fight for New York is it's in my top 5 favorite games ever. I play a lot of video games.
Okay.
They need to do a modern version of that with like fucking Ice
would be
Spice,
so sick.
Drake,
Hell
fucking
yeah.
Oh my
Pusha
God.
T, fucking yeah, like
50 Cent.
dude, it would be
sick.
crazy, dude.
Unlockable.
Dude, and you could still have Snoop as the villain in it, dude. Like, yeah.
That would be. I like that.
I don't know how you do it without spending a budget that is like absolutely fucking crazy. You would have to get people to come on board for like really like not a lot of money. But if you were able to make that game, it would be. First of all, the first two, fucking Vendetta and Fight for New York, are incredible games. They're so fucking fun. But with a new cast of the biggest stars, like, oh my God. Even in that game, I
There's
remember.
somebody out there that
Will
would probably
Smith.
mod that.
100%. Yeah.
Like they could probably mod that.
They
and
could make it.
Yeah.
Like, if we get EA back on board, that
Yeah.
you need the same sort of wrestling engine that they used, because that was part of the fun, was like these crazy outlandish moves.
Yeah.
And you had like, dude, I remember in that game, because you had your trainer. Your trainer was Henry Rollins. Like, there was so many fucking people in that game, dude. Like Busta Rhymes, fucking Method Man, Redman. Like, oh, dude, it was so sick.
What's your favorite game?
Oh man, my favorite game of all time is a hard one. If I'm like looking at like my top guys, like definitely Def Jam Fight for New York's one of my top guys. I would put Overwatch in there as well. Overwatch is a game that I've gone back to a lot that I love. It got me into competitive shooters a lot more. Bloodborne's probably on there as well. Bloodborne, like the whole Souls genre, I really like. Personal goal of mine is to platinum all those games.
Oh.
And then, what else would I put on that list? I would probably put God of War Ragnarok on that list as well.
I haven't started it.
That
but
game,
I have it.
oh dude, it's incredible. Like the way they were able to modernize that series and keep the soul of what the original games were, and then keep the like, but then put in this like emotional tether to the characters and mature everything and mature the gameplay style, modernize it, was unbelievable. And still have these like the first God of War, the 2018 one of the remakes. That one has like very good like set piece moments, which is what God of War is to me. And then the second one has like these crazy like vibrant cutscenes that are like so intense to watch. It feels like you're watching one of the best moments in like Endgame or Infinity War. On top of that, they have these huge set piece boss battles that are amazing. So that would be on the list.
Yeah, that game just got him off. You
Dude,
can tell.
I
He is-
love that game.
We've talked about tits and ass for a while, and he started talking about that, and he's like, "But listen, oh my God, the
Play the God of
story."
War game, though?
No, I have, but I haven't
They
played
are
it.
insane.
Yeah, I like, you can go back and play the originals, but if you just get on at the 2018, play God of War and then God of War Ragnarok, you might be a little lost story-wise. Watch like a YouTube video that catches you up on all the old ones. But those are masterpieces of video games. And then, what else would I
Like the
put?
Assassin's Creed at all?
I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed guy. Assassin's Creed never really got me. I there's a couple indie style games where like I really like Cuphead. That would be like an honorable mention. But maybe like Halo 3. I haven't gone back to Halo 3 in forever, but that era of when Halo 3 was big and I was in high school, even when people moved on to Call of Duty 4, I stayed on Halo 3. That game took so many hours from me.
Was Halo 3 the first one that was on 360?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a great game.
That game fucking ripped. I had some kills saved on my old Xbox
Hell
360
yeah, I love
that were
that.
like cool ass moments. Like I really enjoyed the fuck out of that game. I would say that's probably like in the realm of what my list looks like of my top 5.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I think we're gonna get Boot Scoot and Boogie out of here.
Yeah.
We got some travel time to do. We ended up coming up to Cleveland to see you. Originally we were gonna have you come to us in our small town Clyde into the basement. That's terrifying. Yeah, precisely. And thankfully you didn't because it's colder than shit and it's in the basement. So we would have had you had the heat running in there. We're like, we gotta try and set it up or something.
Yeah,
They're
nice
like,
comfy
Some
studio.
handwork.
Yeah,
we're-
it's a nice little
and
studio.
thank you,
Awesome.
Bill Squire,
Yeah, thank
for
you.
hosting,
Thank you,
setting
Bill.
it
Thank
up.
you guys for.
Thank you.
I'm happy we finally got to
Yeah,
do this. We've
yeah.
been talking about doing a collab like this for a long time, and it came together.
We've been wanting to get on the Bill Squire Show, and we haven't come up for it. And I hit him up for the studio, and I was like, as I sent it, I was like, man, it would have been so nice to have more time to do it. And he's like, on the way, he's like, you want to just do a collab? And I was like, yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah.
dude. But thank you for coming in here.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. This is very fun.
As if nobody knows where the fuck you're at, let them plug all the socials and
For
everything.
sure.
Like that.
I'm Durena on all platforms. That's CHEDURENA. Durena.com for all ticket and tour dates. A ton of Canadian stuff coming up. So we got Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Victoria, and then some stuff later in the year. We got Bloomington, Minnesota, Tacoma, Washington, and La Jolla, California, in San Diego. I don't think La Jolla tickets are available yet. Calgary and Edmonton, we added a second show on both those. Go find all your stuff.
Hell yeah. Buy those tickets, guys. This dude's fucking hilarious. And if you're in Cleveland already, you're already going to miss this, but you better have fucking been to that damn show and show out. Hopefully, like yesterday's show was an absolute killing.
Oh, absolutely. And then today's the 2 shows today are more packed than yesterday, so it's going to be great. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
let's
that's
go.
awesome.
If we didn't have to travel
Where's
home.
your show that you got coming up?
Oh, I was gonna let Cody Ray do it. Do you want to do a promo right now, Cody Ray?
Yeah,
Do
dude.
you want to
let's
set
get
it up?
Oh,
Let's
shit.
get it. January 27th. When's this coming out? Monday?
Yes.
Yes.
So this Saturday coming up, January 27th, at the Moonshine Comedy Club, 8 o'clock. Doors open at 7. Headlining John Armstrong, featuring Noah Ryan. Will be your host with the Boogered Up Boys.
You're.
Dang,
We'll
Cody,
fucking be
okay,
in
that's
there.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that one.
And all my stuff at billsquire.com. I got tour dates mostly in Northeast Ohio area. Doing some stuff with Chad Daniels out on the road later this year. That's all at my website. And yeah.
And real quick, I'll drop it on this one then. February. Hold on. Let me check March. Let me check the date. I want to fuck that one up because I'm gonna announce the next show that we have up. February 17th. AJ Wilkerson is coming to the Moonshine Comedy Club.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
2 shows off rip immediately. Super stoked for that. I'm going to be hosting that one. And my butthole was already tight enough opening for you. So it's already going to be fun. I'm not going to do any ginger jokes. I'm going to try and stay away from that one for this one.
Yeah.
But February 17th, when you guys are listeing to this, more than likely we're going to have
I
tickets.
think you should take inspiration from Riley Reid.
Yes. But make sure you guys are buying the tickets for all these people's shows and everything. We'll catch you guys next week. Don't do anything that we wouldn't
Do it
do.
all.
Peace.
Bye.
Shut up!